Aloha, this is Craig Okahara-Olsen, and I'm going to be doing a presentation on the koa tree. So to begin, for the plant introduction, so the Hawaiian plant name most commonly associated with the koa tree is, of course, the koa. Its scientific name is the Acacia koa, and it is a species that it comes from a family that originates from the North American mainland continent. In Hawaiian, the koa name is associated with being bold, fearless, or being a warrior, and often carries good traits when people are described as being koa or are named after the koa tree itself. So to continue my plant introduction, what is the koa tree? The koa tree is the largest endemic Hawaiian tree, and it has the possibility of growing over 100 feet tall, after many years, of course. It is heavily valued across the world for its furniture use, and is a unique hardwood with a unique grain structure that people often find appealing, and companies such as MacArthur and Sons use in their products. It reached Hawaii. Of course, it is an endemic species, so it is only found here. But it has a probable dispersion method, probably through bird feces or water. But I'm assuming it went through bird feces because it is a common bird snack, and it does have the possibility of transmitting through birds. And this is it probably is how it reached here. Okay, so the plant region where the koa grows. So the plant region where the koa grows is known as the kualono, and it is the mountaintop. And this is the most prominent area where koa is grown, and it often grows the largest here. And a little fun fact is this is probably where the native Hawaiians found their trees to make their canoes. So the koa tree grows in the dry or wet rainforests, and it usually grows at higher elevations as it has evolved to grow accustomed to these settings. So of higher elevations and the more wet the forest is, it will produce larger trees that will probably be used for different things. Okay, so next up is the koa tree anatomy. So the koa tree I took pictures of as seen in this slide here. It has a large trunk, and it has leaves. It has many branches. It has a root structure, and it has brown pods for its seeds and fruits that is used to disperse and spread across the area. So the koa tree I found, its distinctive features include a specific grain structure, as seen in the top picture at the top right. This grain structure people often find appealing, and as I said before, it is used in furniture, and this is what a distinctive feature of the koa tree. It also is a very hard wood, so that's why it is also used in furniture and in canoes and stuff, and it was very appealing to the native Hawaiians as well. It also has very unique sickle-shaped leaves. These sickle-shaped leaves are used to catch specific kinds of sunlight during times of the day for koa trees, and it has very unique seed pods, which are these large brown seed pods that resemble peas, and they contain many tiny seeds in them. These are all distinctive features of the koa tree, and this is what makes it different from other trees in the Hawaii Island and across the world. Okay, so next we move on to the cultural significance of the koa tree. So the olelo no'eau I found of the koa tree was live like a koa tree. And this symbolizes in the Hawaiian culture being strong, growing up in the forest, and learning about yourself, and learning to be brave and other things. So it is often a story about growth, and personal growth mainly, and becoming a better person, becoming more brave and other things, just like what the koa name is associated with. So the koa was mainly used in canoes, and King Kamehameha the Great was the most famous user of these trees, as he built many of his canoes out of the koa tree. Throughout Hawaiian history, the koa tree has been used to make all the other canoes as well, and this is what makes it such a popular tool and popular plant in the Hawaiian Islands. And it's heavily used in Hawaiian culture for other things as well, such as tools, crafting, even supporting housing structures and stuff. So it was a heavily utilized plant, but it was its most famous use is, of course, for the canoes. There's also no association I could find with a kua as a kino lau or anything. Okay, so for my project, I decided to create a Hawaiian hook with the koa wood. And as you can see in the picture earlier, I harvested the wood here in this picture for my koa hook, and I carved out the hook using modern tools, as I did not, you know, use the Hawaiian methods and stuff. So the first step, I gathered the wood, as seen in this picture here. I gathered the wood from this tree. I found a branch and was able to cut the branch out. Of course, with asking permission, I was able to cut a piece of the branch out, and I gathered the wood to build my tool. And as you can see here, I have a picture of me and the piece of wood I got. So I dried the wood for a few days in the sun, and I sanded down the wood to make it smooth, so I could use it for my project. So the next step was cutting the wood to make the hook. So I cut the wood to resemble the hook shape first of all, and it was very rough. And I used a table saw to cut the shape out. I used a very thin table saw in order to get the shape right. It was very jagged at first, and as you can see in the picture here, I have the initial wood cutting. So step 4, I then sanded the hook down to the correct shape, and I used two different kinds of sanders. The first one is on the bottom right. I then used a smaller sander to sand out the insides, and I finally used a piece of paper or sandpaper to sand on the wood to make sure it was smooth and the shape was right. I then finished by polishing and finalizing the touches to the wood. As you can see here, I then tied a rope around it so it would resemble something that Maui once used to pull the islands together, as he did use a fishing hook. And then here is my final product here. It is the hook, rounded out and sanded, and with the piece of rope on it to resemble Maui's hook. And this is the final part of my project, and that is what my hook looks like now. This is a great project, and here's my works cited. And I'd like to thank you for watching my video, and I hope you learned something about the koa tree.